Tēnā koutou katoa and nau mai hoki mai. Kei aku rangatira. This is the 2021 National Touch Championship. We are in Canterbury, okay? Beautiful whenua ariki of Ngaitahu. This is Ngā Punawai, the awesome facility, and we have the locals. It's a back-to-back Canterbury 35 women taking on Nelson. So this is a little bit of a battle of the south there, Maya.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. At least they'd be both used to this weather, although in saying that, Nelson has the most sunny days in New Zealand. I'll be interested to see these young ladies, and I can call them young. We've had the 55s, we've had the 45s, and we're down to the 35s. Just looking out to the Canterbury team warming up here in front of us. There's a lot of familiar faces from back in the Opens days. We've got Melissa Shaw, Andrea Williams, Stephanie Carson, also Emma Barrett, Anna Livingston, all the way down to Kylie John.
Yes, coming through that sheet, we've got Tessa Te Kahu, Broomhill, Campbell, McClintock, Rule and John. Manager is Brenda, coach is Carson, and there's another coach in there that you may know, Maya.
Bernie Schrader, yeah. Bernie Schrader, massive contributor to touch in many different sectors of the game. Obviously is refereeing, been up as the leading referee also.
And just quickly, the Nelson team sheet number 1, we have Stickney, Fry, Parker, Graham, Bradley, Emery, Thompson. As we come down the team sheet, Roberts, Heglin, hopefully I've said that name correctly, apologies, Jones, Ford, Silcock, and I'm not even going to attempt that one, Maya. Number 14, so I don't get it incorrect, Paula, and number 16 is Nikki Webb. Tarina Graham is manager and coach, and Wisang Paka, I just seen his name on the sheet, awesome. He's also gave a lot to the game over the years. Other coaches, Joseph Winera, which is quite a famous name there in the Porirua region, and other is Tia Jane Graham Winera, and that is your Nelson 35 women's team. I think this is also going to be a tight one, Mike.
Yeah, hopefully. We've had two good ones to start with. Just Wisang, it's great seeing him down on the coaching list, because hopefully it means he's not playing for the Nelson Open mix, because last year he gave us a whop up of being out there.
But I see Anita Boyd, number 5, her name was on the team sheet for Canterbury. So it's just got so much experience around this group. Here we have Canterbury tap-off, number 18, Kylie John. Yes, and I remember that running style, number 2, Williams, coming through. And look at this, they're starting to open them up, Canterbury. They're going to run a sweep play coming on the back door. Number 15 there is Campbell, comes through, beautiful touch.
What a start. Holy, it's just getting better and better as the morning goes on.
I'm not going to call this the Masters anymore. No. I'm just going to call this touch.
Look, if the Opens have got a lot to live up to, if the speed of the game, the agility, the flair and the moves is anything like this at the Masters, I'm looking forward to the next day.
Wicked. And the Nelson girls, all the way from Te Tauihu o Te Waka. Check it off there and coming through. Nice little check again, coming through the hands. And man, some of these faces, Lee Emery, looking very familiar. Yes, coming through, and they're all keen as Fries on the ball. Nice transition. Sprinting on, Maya. Ball in 2 hands. This is a nice ruck. They've kicked right over to this far side. Just going to get a wrap play in here. Oh, nice heads up there. 5th and final scoop on the back end. We've got Bradley checking off there to Parker. Over the top, and just keeping this ball alive. Nice work. End-to-end touch, Maya.
I remember the first time I seen Katie Bradley, she was playing for Motueka, I think it was, at the 1997 Nationals, and there was another guy, I think his name was Milton, and they ripped the grade in half. They were incredible. Now seeing Katie here playing for Nelson, I'm pretty sure she played for Marlborough last year in the Open Mixed, and now playing for the Nelson Women.
Yeah. Speed to burn here. Canterbury coming through in the in goal, having a cup of tea, just trying to find an open player.
Oh!
Melissa Shaw looks like a sprinter.
Check this out. This is insane.
I know.
I tell you what, it's brought the sun out. She's nice and warm now.
Yes. And a little bit of that Hauraki sun brought down all the way from Pydal College. Thank you very much, Maya.
Oh, we got to bless all.
Yes, that's excellent. And here we go. This will be, as they call a sequence, so this will be a set of 6 that Canterbury have up there. Sleeve number 12, Te Kahu, been around a long time, man. These ladies, they played touch at the highest level. Look at that nice little step back. And they're just teasing that defence up, they might, just seeing what policy or what shape they're running.
Yeah, and also probably getting them a little bit tighter too, and then ending up with a play that finishes out on the wing potentially. Not quite the accuracy there from Canterbury.
How well has the Numberfield pitch held up after 3 games?
Yeah, and the Jews finally dropped off it as well.
Yeah.
Look, we've talked a lot about the Canterbury attack, but actually this Nelson defence looks solid as a rock.
Yeah, just look at the intensity of this Nelson team, you know? Nice little check inside.
I knew that was going to be forward.
Yeah.
You could just tell
just
by
the angle of it?
Yeah, just the body position.
Yeah.
She was too deep, and the player come on too shallow. It was always likely to be a forward pass.
Poko, the ref we have out there.
Yep.
Poko, come through.
Relatively new ref. Well, I guess most are compared to me. Really keen, developing every single game. All 3 of them are, and actually Caitlin, as you can see on the far side there, I think she was 16. We talk about young Canterbury here, all nice touch. Young players playing at the highest level in terms of the PTL, and the first was involved in it as well. And so she's a star now, and she's really going to be one of the bright stars in the future.
Yes, definitely. 7 there for Nelson, getting out strong. Stephen, Katie, and also Emery.
Just getting caught there on the 6th.
You can just sort of see the bounce in this of some of these players. You know, they're just looking in tip-top condition, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised to see any of these women in the Open Women's. Yeah. In fact, it probably was with the change of date that some of them may have been in Open teams, but now that not being the case, that they've shifted into the over 35.
You know, if Nelson can just keep completing their sets, I can just see the back end of this game.
Look at the speed here. Jeepers. Jones.
Jolene Jones. Jolene. Great song, that one. It was Speed to Burn, man. Speed to Burn. Just a pleasure. Here we go. Just a nice little, comes around on a sweep play, picks it up, and just sees this little gap there. Oh, it's actually a little check off. And just get the ball to the speed, as they say, Maya.
Yeah, the key combo there, Bradley and Parker. Just setting that one up and then give it to the gas, and off she goes. Canterbury Hill want to hit back straight away, going down 1.
Yes, and Jolene, she's a athletic representative for Tasman and New Zealand.
And she's got it touch. Some people are just greedy.
Yes. Here's this defensive shape. There's Emery. She's just locked in at middle there. Just off the ball, just double off. Yeah, 7 for, really like the look of 7 for Nelson. Lee Emery.
Nelson here coming off their own line. Wonder if they set up something similar here, or if Canterbury will adjust to make sure there's just not that simple overlap on the end of the yards. Just going out of structure, it looked like, from the gesture the winger made to number 12 there for Nelson. Canterbury got a McClintock here. Canterbury got a good chance. Full set, McClintock on with Kylie John.
Yeah, they're just nice and patient.
I tell you, seeing Kylie John out there, it seems like something's wrong not seeing Liana Fox out there with her. Those two being a formidable combination for so many years for Canterbury back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. There's Jolene Jones again, just covering in defence. But there's some speed out there. She may get the ball back, a little 2-step play. Oh, yeah. Loving this Nelson defence.
Yeah.
And Lee Emery, she's about to receive the ball. She was the MVP female for the Turbo Club Champs 2019, just coming to dummy half. And Turbo Touch, you know, you've got to have quite a good skill set and peripheral vision. These 3 officials have settled in well in your eyes, Maya, start of this one?
I think when you don't notice them, you know they're going well.
Yep.
There's flow from end to end. The only time there isn't flowing is on a drop ball, so it's got nothing to do with penalties and midfield, etc. We've got the formidable combination here of Parker and Bradley. If they can get down to the line, I reckon they'll be hard to hold out here. They just seem to know what each other's doing without really speaking to each other. Probably played a lot of touch together. I've actually seen them both over in the Fiji International Tournament. That unfortunately didn't happen last year.
Nice little in between. Now Nelson haven't been down the centre of the field much, so the options or the opportunities they get down here, they've really got to nail them. Whereas Canterbury's they've almost been camped down that other end of the field, and they've had a lot more shots to fire. And it's a tight one, Mike. 1-0 to Nelson.
Yeah, I think when you think Nelson, you think they're physical in terms of their fitness and their speed and the effort. It's the same at minute 1 as it is at minute 40. And they've demonstrated that here again, particularly on the defence. And Canterbury, they just seem to be a little bit more polished through the field, I would suggest, and just aren't quite being accurate at the end where it matters.
Yeah, Tarina Graham, Katie Bradley, Emma Parker. And look at that, nice and direct. Sandra Fry. Yeah, here comes Emery. Look at that nice little inside check, sweep play coming around. Here comes the speed. If they can get a little phase here, oh, that would have been nice if they could have just dropped on that middle.
Emery, Gasser on the outside. Oh, no, just throw the ball.
Still going to finish here. Another set completion down this end of the field for Nelson. And you know, Canterbury only just got to halfway and then they made an error. You're right, they're definitely physical. There's no love lost between these two teams.
Roberts and Ford there working with Emery, making those first 3 touches. What have Canterbury got off the end? John.
Yeah, good work, just manning that. Yeah, penalty. Yeah, looked offside.
Yeah, I'm surprised the referee didn't play through. Obviously, that's the greatest advantage for the attacking team, especially when Canterbury would have been 4-on-2 on this side, had John been able to play through there, but a fresh 6.
How is that? You know, I know sometimes it's a play through, sometimes it's not. Is that preloaded before game, or is that referee's preference, or how does that work?
It's probably less referee's preference and more referee's ability in terms of where they're at, and understanding them. What that actually a play through is the most important tool. Sometimes you play through because there is that opportunity for advantage, and sometimes you don't because you know the ball's going to go to nothing.
So you go, yep, penalty, yep. Okay.
Another good set of D here from Nelson. There doesn't look like there's any gaps here.
Well, they've definitely got a lot of trust, you know, in their policies.
Nice late cut off the shore.
Yeah,
again, Emery.
I'll tell you what, we sung, and I'm not surprised at all. It's got some beautiful defensive shapes. More around the roles and responsibilities of each player. They know their role, you know. And look at this. I think this has been a big difference for me, just the intensity that they're getting on and off. Here's the sweep, inside sweep check. And this is where they should drop. Get a nice little drop in here. Kick to the other side.
That seemed one short here, just by looking at the players. It looks like they think that this is the 5th coming up as opposed to the 6th.
Yeah.
I could just tell by their body language that they didn't quite think it was the last there.
Well, I like that inside check and they run the sweep, but when they run the sweep, they almost run each other out of room, so they've got to get that check right on the 50 or right in the middle of the field, and then the targets will be a bit more clearer. But man, I'm impressed. I think just the variety of the transition it's impressive. Here's the solid zone coming through. Yeah, they stay really connected, this Nelson team, you know.
Tikahu just unfortunately couldn't get through and link up. There was a good drive there by Carsons prior to that.
Yeah, they pick straight down the lane. Sometimes it's good to work that middle just to pull them a bit further over, so when you step back you've got a little bit more room to play with. Another error coming off.
Here's an opportunity. It's only 1-0. Canterbury have had more ball down on Nelson, but Nelson looked like the more polished, so this will be interesting. They can get one back here and tie it up at 1-1. Carson, we can hear with Tikahu. Well, that's the first penalty. See what Carson and Tikahu can do here.
Tikahu's going to get it back, little dive here. Yeah.
That's 2. Looks like they're in a hurry to 3. Talked about Nelson's defence. We might get to see how good it is if they're playing with 5.
I don't think they'll give another one away. One here, I think they'll be very positive. Tikahu again. Yeah.
Well done.
Good discipline, eh? You know, just really drew that defence.
Yep.
And knowing one more penalty, you're off. So, you know, you're in 2 minds now, eh?
Yep. Carson back off to Tikahu. Locked the 5 into her, and then easily passed out to a winger. Good try there from Canterbury.
Probably just communication, because it looked like that hunting defender inside actually had her player. The 5 held her space, so she didn't release. So it's I think, very fixable. but the quality of Canterbury come through.
Here's Emery again. Here's the MVP. Ooh, that might spark her into some action. That wasn't a soft touch.
Well, they've identified, I guess, you know. And here we goes Jolene. Yeah, on the ball now. Natasha forward.
Sweet play coming up here. I imagine Emery around. Oh no.
Ooh, 3-3 Peel. Trying to get one there, Maya.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the referee's comms to know what Emery was after there. Big hoik out to the left on the last.
Big win for Canterbury. They scored, deed them out. Now the key is to get the ball to the box so they can get fresh legs. Yeah, look at this full press.
I think Canterbury are lucky there.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the body position of the Canterbury player coming across. Yeah. She was almost facing the sideline.
Because I thought Emery had won the space. Yeah. It actually got there earlier.
Bit of tit for tat from that last one, eh?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Jolene there. Oh, these yards. Yeah, 16 for Canterbury. Amy. Athlete. Coming through the field again.
Campbell and Shaw.
Speed here.
Gas is look at Emery. She's
a
bit side. Nelson players
how
mirroring
long can they hold their mirror?
Winger just coming off the player. It's the human nature, I guess, to take your eyes off your player when you're in that mirror policy and look at the ball, and just a moment of lapse of taking your eyes off your player, they shift to a different spot and then they become available.
Yeah,
look here, just going along the dead ball line, trying to match up. Nelson winger just takes her eyes off and leaves the Canterbury winger open for a nice try. Well done by Shaw.
Playing to their strength, Canterbury, you know, Melissa Shaw, just the speedster, you know, got her in the end goal, and this Canterbury machine is just starting to find its rhythm.
I noticed those two Canterbury tries have come off the Nelson crew not scoring, and then them having to do a double up on defence and just not quite having the legs on the end of the Canterbury attacking set.
Yeah.
So it's the importance of being accurate on the attacking end, so you can get your players off and get some fresh players on for D. Bradley and Parker together again, short side.
That was the left flank for Canterbury, 13. She made that touch, so everything inside was a man on. Oh, look at that skill. Beautiful. Yeah, well, 13 for Canterbury. I'd like to give her a shout out because Stephanie Broomhall, she actually made that original first touch, and then they went to a man and she had to protect her outside, and she'd done it well. And then just a nice clean plant, so that's an awesome rotation for her coming off. Ooh. Oh, she didn't actually roll it. Oh, unlucky.
Oh, hamstring here for
Takahu. Yeah. Bit of cramp. They've got the duty of care for her as soon as she comes off. Healthcare straight on it. Here's Katie.
Really hope it's nothing too major for Takahu. Obviously, first game of the tournament. That'd be devastating if that injury was too serious and she couldn't carry on. She's got the lower left leg, the calf, and often, you know, the calf sore, the hammy ends up being sore too.
Here's Ford at half. She's still going to run them short side. They've obviously seen something there. Wee Sung said that play up. It was a nice platform, but Canterbury they're quite locked in on, I guess. With the wind, it's quite prevalent now, Maya, that you want to force them to throw left to right into this wind. It's not going to be an easy long ball.
Yeah, exactly. The wind has picked up. We got the sun, but unfortunately we got the wind with it.
Emery, she's into everything. Emery, there's Jolene again, 11 for Nelson defensively. Nice little check inside. Shaw. Oh, yes, let's get the ball back. Look at the speed.
Oh, the Campbell and Shaw combination, that's 2 in a row.
Yep.
Shaw was the assister in the last time, and now she is the touchdown score. Just comes in for an easy drive. Campbell gives it straight back to Shaw. Shaw gasses her defender on the outside. The outside players hold the other defenders, and she's straight through for a great touchdown.
And that's playing to your strengths once again. You know, I think maybe the first 15 minutes, Canterbury were just feeling out the opposition. You've got Anita Boyd on the sideline here. And so she's very clever operator. So they've identified who, where and when. And they're pulling it off. Here goes Jolene. Yeah, that was an easy step up there. The links, this left flank position for Canterbury is vital in their defence, and they do it so well. Like, she might make this one again. Yes, they're going to double off, so it's a man on again. And just, the winger's in a bit tight there. That was probably the only disconnection, was the winger, but everything inside.
Stickney.
Yeah, very, very safe inside there. But once again, this is the quality of both these teams. Force this pass into the wind. Great touchdown and catch by the winger, and there we go. Touchdown there, Penny Stickney.
I think Jones is underutilised just from what I've seen. Her speed, she looks the fastest player on the field. And you've seen that in the first try where she gassed outside. I'd be looking at bringing her around the back for some suit play and just having her, as we've seen Shaw do for Canterbury, gas the defender on the outside.
Yes, and no doubt Wee Sung has probably got those options in his playbook. So here she is. You just talked about a sweep play. Then they run a reverse. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah.
Carson and Shaw, they broke up the combination of Campbell and Shaw. That was formidable there. Little items go out, 3-peat.
Here's Emery. Yeah, nice work. Coming across his forward. Fry's going to take the next hit up, nice and direct again. Here comes the transition subs. Yeah, they can actually afford to move it here. Probably get it to Jolene a bit earlier. Excellent touch there. Media rule. Awesome. Johnston, little check inside. Yeah.
That was a strong touch. 50 seconds out, Nelson will really want to hold Canterbury out here. Going into half-time, the momentum's definitely switched to the Canterbury 35 women's team, leading 3-2. Got a set here from halfway with the third touch coming up. Be interesting to see what they can set up to have a crack at the end. Carson.
Good step up there by Jolene.
Broomhall and Carson. What do we got here? 2 to go here, 20 seconds. Carson setting up with Johnston, drives in, Broomhall around the back, Gas on the outside, looking for the hole. Good touch there by the link. Number 8 for Nelson, which is Thompson.
Yeah,
last play of the game.
We said it was going to be a tight one, this one, and it definitely is. 3-2. And I'll just run the clock down here, Canterbury. Oh, knocks past.
Oh. What did you call one of those tries? Tickle bomb tries, was it, at the end there?
Is that one of those ones?
Just the old 35-metre long ball into the wind, to the winger.
You got to play to the hooter. I guess if there's one less than there, you got to play to the hooter. And, man, didn't she back herself? Oh, this is a great angle. What's this pass here? Tucks off from the hip, straight to the winger, in, out, around, speed, and touchdown.
Great
Canterbury.
Bit of agility there by
Sonia.
Nice. Stood her up her winger, had no space to move.
Yep. And that is though one of those moments. It's like, damn, it would have been 3-2. And they go into the half very confident. But here's our highlights from this one, and here's Shaw. She's been amongst all the highlights for this one. She gets a nice outside quickie there. Then we come Katie Bradley, comes across, shoots from the hip, left to right, over to the winger, touchdown there. And then we come back. This is the final play of the game. And here we have Stephanie Broomhall off the right. That's the middle of the field there. Skips 2 players, in, out. And just look at this, the feet. And
Where's
that's a bit
space?
of speed. Oh, tippy toes down the sideline. One foundation replay.
Just you would know, being a coach, but those tries when nothing was on, the hooter had gone, just going into half-time, 3-2, you're disappointed, but then that happens, it can sort of really sink you, and it'll be interesting to see the mental resilience that the Nelson 35 Women's have coming out to that second half, knowing they let one in that shouldn't have happened.
Yes, and interesting, you've got the Nelson coach, Wee Sung, doing a lot of the talking, but in the Canterbury circle, you've got, looks like the captain doing a lot of the talking for this group, so obviously their process at half-time, and everyone's zoned in.
Just getting a sneak peek into the Canterbury huddle, the focus was around the comms. As we can see, we sung here, but the Canterbury team are really big on the comms, obviously defence being their priority in the second half. What do you think we sung saying to the girls here, Hika?
It looks like what I see them doing a bit of like a pass, so I think the transition is the most clunkiest part of their game. Like they come on with intent, but when they get it, they're a little bit unsure. So I think exiting's good, and they just haven't been able to get down that end of the field as much as Canterbury. I think Canterbury have done that better. So I definitely think the orange zone transition would be an area. If I was them, I'd be happy with the line defence because for probably 15 minutes they were solid, and then just they let one in, the communication, bit of disconnection. But man, there's nothing in it, and that last touchdown to me, that's Canterbury to the two. You know, they play for the full 40, you know, and just don't give up. But shouts out to the officials also, Mike.
Yeah, that was a decent half. They obviously had spoken before the game, talking about the importance of making sure the teams lift up off the scoreline and don't roll back early. So that was a number of penalties there for them. Kept relatively good gap, which is good. I think that they need to keep an eye on that gap, though. I think it started to fall away late in that first half. So interesting to see. We go Nelson tapping off. Number 5, Graham.
Yeah, we've got Emery at half. Coming through with hers forward. Silcock on the ball also. Here's Emery. Fry's at half. Here's Graham. Little 32 Peel. They're going to run a phase. Yeah, nice work. Just needs to get the ball to the...
Coming half.
Maya, would you say that the defensive player was obstructed in any way? Or was that just they found their line?
Yeah, that's a real tough one, because it definitely looked like the Nelson player was impeded, but then you've got to think to yourself, what did the Canterbury player do wrong?
Yep.
And just because something looks wrong doesn't mean it is technically wrong. And so Canterbury player made a touch, picked their line and stayed on it, and she's able to do that.
Oh, look at the feet.
Sure.
I think probably one thing I would say around, and we were having a little talk about it off camera, was around you've got to know who the threat is in the opposition. Yep, you focus on your group and your team, but Shaw is she's been having a little bit of a field day at the last end of that half, so I think you've got to at least force someone like her to pass long.
Yeah, well, and it comes back to the two middles on defence, and they've just been disconnected. Every time Shaw's gone, she's gone through and she's been able to pick left or right. Whereas if we go back to that first game this morning, if you make her go one way, then you can get that side of your defence ready for that to happen. So you make the decision for her, whereas at the moment she can decide whatever she wants. So I think those middles, or the whole team, really need to go back into whatever the defensive structure is and force her to the side that their defence is set up to force her to.
Nice work. Oh yeah, great touch. 3-on-3, Johnson on Parker.
I was surprised to see Bradley and Parker not start that second half, but here they are starting again. 5-2, they definitely need to be the next to score. When you've got someone with that amount of gas in your team, as Jones has, you try and give them the ball early?
I think you get around early and give the ball early. Yep, I think that's definitely a play. You know, that 21 Peel that we saw in the 55 men's, it'd be nice to see those sort of plays, you know, open them up, because she could still come open side and run a phase. But here's Shaw, and you know, her background's New Zealand Sevens, played netball at a high level, so it is no wonder that she's got that speed and agility. Oh, that's a nice way to complete the set, far side.
Question I've always wanted to ask you, Hika, obviously coaching at the highest level and being the New Zealand Open Mixed coaches, when you've had players come through the system who have always been the it players, they've been the dominant players, the good players, and then they get to a level where you have other players come in who physically, in terms of their athleticism, are probably better, is it hard to coach away from those dominant players continuing to do that 21 Peel, whereas if you had an athlete, get them into it, or is it quite easy? Do you observe that this athlete is good at this, so that's what I get them to do?
Through probably lucky by that sort of been around the selection, I guess, sidelines for a long time. I just done my 10th year. And don't shoot me if your son or daughter didn't make the team, please. But, you know, you sit there and you watch so much touch, you just watch so much, and you get to actually know these players just so well. But I think the beauty for me is I'm not looking for the polished player. You know, that's I guess part of the high performance program is to help polish. So we get a lot of these talent that they're good, but they're still 1%ers to them, still not quite there. So I guess to answer your question, it's more spending more time observing and then getting to know them and then working with them. And that has ebbs and flows with different players. Some come from provinces, say ours, which don't get a lot of touch, but they're the big shark in the pond back home. Bang, put them up next to these ones out of Auckland and Canterbury, who there's 20 of them. He goes to speed, and it's quite normal. But when you're not used to, I guess, what's the word, learning at that level, sometimes it can be a detriment because you just haven't been around it enough. So I don't know if I answered your question, Maya, but I think it's very different with different players depending from where they come and the situations. But I think our job is most definitely to provide that level for all those players to grow in.
There's been a bit of a lull on the scoreboard here of the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, sorry, ladies, I've done my Academy Award speech. Went too long. Get them off.
Shaw's back on. I'm sure she'll tick the scoreboard over here. Went away from her. Broomhall, I think it is. Got through a gap that wasn't there. Connected with her winger. I definitely thought Shaw was getting that back. I'm glad I didn't call that. It would have looked like an egg. Shaw transitions on from the sub box. Gets given this, drives in. Looked like a set up for a quickie. Defence thought so as well. Broomhall comes back, gets through a gap that's not there. Beautiful pass off to the winger who held her space. And number 9, Barrett, an easy try.
Yeah, comes through. There we have it. There's another touchdown there for the Cantabrians.
6-2, Canterbury in the lead. Nelson really need to be the next to hit back if they want to have a chance, and unfortunately there, Graham just dropped the ball and going it back to Canterbury.
Yes, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is the second round for this grade. So there's a lot. Actually, don't quote me on that one. But I think there's going to be a lot of chances for Nelson to obviously nitpick this performance. And obviously Canterbury, as we know, they have high standards themselves. Graham, Tarina. Here's the sweep play. Emery's on the back door. Oh, he's just coming short side. Yeah. Oh, good work. Excellent defence. I've been really impressed with the, although they gave the penalty away there, 16 Amy, but the Canterbury Lynx, the role they play, they step up, they close space, close time. It's definitely a policy and a system they run really well.
I think one of the glaringly obvious things when you look at the two teams is Canterbury have got 6 or 7 ex or current New Zealand players or been through the system, whereas Nelson only 2, I think it is, just from looking at the player bios. And you can really see that coming through, that experience, that knowledge, that weathered the storm at the start from Nelson, and now they're very dominant and accurate down the attacking end.
Yeah, nice. And that's who you want to play, Amo. You know, that's who you want to come up against in any sport. There's Emery. Yeah, nice. And they've finally cracked that one. You know, they've been very persistent.
I'm not sure Graham knew she scored that then. I think she was just about to turn around to roll the ball. But that's good for her, hitting back after that drop ball in the previous set.
Emery comes through. Yeah, ball down. Simultaneously, obviously, we get the beauty of the replay up here, Maya.
Yeah. Simultaneous. I like that one.
Is that a term that we hear in the refs circles?
When you look back at a replay like that, yes.
That's good. I'm still learning the stuff. I only have my pink badge as a ref, so I'm way off the levels.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like when I listen to Peter Walters and Peter Mack, they got given their black badges, and I'm not sure they ref the game.
Surely they got. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. Although they might not have been assessed, they've got them.
And they might not have been wearing. They might have been wearing an Auckland uniform while reffing those games too.
You've got to watch those guys. Eh?
Shaw and Broomhall, dynamic combo here. Broomhall straight back to Shaw.
Speed,
outside,
class,
ooh,
lovely touch. Beautiful touch.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, Shaw doesn't think she got touched.
And that was number 8 for Nelson, Tina Thompson.
Man, Shaw's got gas, doesn't she? Powerful too.
Yep. Nice work. Now they're really getting them behind that back gate, as we say. better transition, and this is where they just want to go forward. That's 3.
Jones.
Yep. And this is where you want a nice strike
Graham.
plant.
Oh,
there's
for
the
the speed.
Check off. Oh, Fry was in. Yeah,
Much better from Nelson,
yeah.
though. That was all set up by Parker on that second touch there, just reading that player coming up, getting on her outside, getting that momentum going forward.
Yeah.
Jones with the set-up, great touch.
Yeah. Shaw's a powerhouse, eh?
Yeah.
And they're just all round.
Yeah.
But I know we sung, he probably clipped that last set. That was a beautiful set, transition, defence transition, right to the end. It was probably just one pass and they went in the corner, but
9.5 to go. Nelson got an opportunity here, only down by 3. Sloppy mistake there by Broomhall and Shaw, just an average pass. Graham's here. Graham, the last try scorer.
be good to watch, see if they can just get to the side of Shaw. She's sort of pushing them around and dominating them at the ruck. It's just a little bit of downtime there. Yeah. She's just got so much skip pass.
You talked about identifying the opposition's strengths, and I think Shaw's probably not the person you're going to try and go outside on. When she's the fastest player on the field, that's the one place you don't want to be going.
But Bernie gave a lot of time to officiating, didn't he, Maya? He was around a long, long time.
Yeah, and it's not about just the time he gave it, it's the level with which he reffed to for so long. He was absolutely, for someone, when he finished refereeing, the age he was at and still refereeing at the top of the game, they talk about people going out on top, and he was definitely one of those. He was a fantastic referee for the game, as we see 16 there from Canterbury.
Amy, man, she's got speed to burn. I'll tell you what, I think this, we haven't seen the full strength of this Canterbury team. I think they're still holding a little bit up their sleeve, which makes sense because it's only day one of the tournament. Yes, what an awesome grade. Oh, and they're just exiting. Unfortunately, they've just made another error. And as I look here, we've got a couple of messages coming for you, Maya, all the way from Portland, in the United States of America. You must have a few friends over there.
Yeah, Portland, bit of a stronghold for touch, always in the touch finals and most of the grades over in the USA. Message here from Caitlin Segato, just saying how much she misses the opportunity to play touch. Obviously, USA doing it hard with the COVID, and a couple of their tournaments haven't been able to happen, but yeah, they're looking at it and wishing that they could all play here and thinking how awesome this touch is.
Is that a module in Portland, or they have a tournament there? How does that work?
It's crazy. They don't have modules. There's almost no places in the USA that have modules per se. They more just meet up down at the field, and whoever's there, split us in half, someone else has a ref, and so that's why I see the work that OJ Howie is doing with his task force that he has, and he's got some really good people around him. How USA can compete the way they do at the level they do is just incredible, knowing that they don't have established modules and tournaments and regional tournaments like we do. And
I know there's a lot of expats, a lot of Kiwis involved, and a lot of Kiwis that he gets over there, like yourself and Tristan Munner, Steve Tookie, just to name a few that have gone over and helped the USA touch game.
Yeah, totally, and there's a lot of Australians over there too. But the cool thing is they're trying to breed their own product in a way, so rather than taking the New Zealand and Australian game and trying to do that, they're creating the USA game, because as we know, once the sport gets into the collegiate over there, those athletes are incredible.
Oh, and we've got a message there all the way from Touch Germany from Rufus, and that's good at Morgan. And back to the touch here live. This is Ngā Punawai. We're in the South Island, Te Waipounamu. Aotearoa, this is the 35 women's grade. Canterbury having a good old tussle against the neighbours up the road, Nelson. Yes, the score is 6-3. There's just under 7 minutes remaining. There's John, there's Shaw, and Shaw's just been having a field day. Another great touch. There's that number 8, Tina Thompson. Tina Thompson. I have no doubt that Tina is also, her background was no doubt a high-end athlete also. Yes, won mixed secondary schools in 1995 and is a hockey player. Class just never leaves some players, eh, Maya?
Yeah, exactly. She's been a rock on defence for the Nelson team. Emery on the last, off to Graham. Just not quite knowing the count when they're coming on.
But man, it's been some end-to-end touch. We're not calling this Masters anymore. This is just high-end touch. Beautiful yards. and these 1%ers, I know there's a lot of the Opens players have just landed in the South Island this morning, as we see a plane in the distance flying in that will be tuning into this very shortly, and they'll be getting absolutely pumped. Drawn pass through the hands. Beautiful.
Nice. Oh, I thought she touched it. I thought she called the touch.
Just a lovely, just the 1%ers, the execution, the core skills late in this second half coming through on the ball. We have Johnson through the hands and just a lovely dive there. And Anna Livingston, they've all played their roles very, very well today, Mike.
Yeah, I think you talked about Canterbury having more to come in the later rounds, and I think Stephanie Johnson is that more to come. She's been relatively quiet. I mean, Shaw's dominated proceedings with Broomhall to a large extent. We've also got Campbell and Takahu helping out as well, but Johnston, I think she is, when those other ones aren't going too hot, she'll step up.
Yeah, and Canterbury are also down a player, so they're down to 13. Takahu took a little niggle, looks like a hammy in the first half, so and they're playing her wisely. She's resting this half, so they've managed to share the workload between that pod. And I mean, I just seen Amy, number 16 for Canterbury, sprinting off subbing, so the condition and the groundwork that they've put in, it's awesome to see. Look at this work, just coming through.
Oh, was she dummy half?
Yeah, she was on the scoop, eh?
Oh, if Caitlin picks this up, this will be a fantastic call by the sideline referee.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, she was half. But we've got the luxury once again.
Oh, the other sideline referee's called that.
So
too.
Here we go. Yeah, and she is too. Yep, she just scooped there. Fortunately. And that's what fooled everyone when she put it down.
It's a really tough one for the referees. I mean, you'd think, that's obvious. How did you not know that? I mean, the scoreline is where you need to be 30 places at once and saying 20 things at the same time. And your eyes come off the ball sometimes and goes to the defensive line. Especially when the dummy half has the ball in their hand for so long. When they pass it straight away, it's easy to identify. But when she's running with it and gets through, you sort of don't identify it. So
we had to question, we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah. It was a good pickup from Caitlin, but ultimately you're there to support the on-field referee, and they are the ones that make the decision at the end of the day. So,
and human error, we all make mistakes,
Yeah,
not intentionally, and I think sometimes players and coaches forget that. Oh, geez, we dropped 12 passes.
Yeah.
They're letting
players
tries.
never remember that in my experience.
But hey, Maya, that was a 4 pass. Here we go. 3 minutes remaining, Maya. Canterbury, they've really kicked into another gear this half.
Yep.
8-3. And I remember when Horowhenua Kapiti sort of first made top 8. And you come up against those powerhouse like Te Baia Plenty. You give your all and you just go hard, and then you can only foot it with them for 20, 25, and then they just kick away, and you walk away a little bit disheartened, man, I was hoping we'd do better, but that's probably what you learn from these top teams. They just sit at a very consistent rate and just make it look, so easy because they're just staying at that nice plane. They don't go up or down, they just stay nice and consistent.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the point there. The gap between the top teams' best and worst games a lot smaller than the gap between those sort of the more regional teams who absolutely can wipe the floor with them one game but then will lose by 20 the next. So it's around that consistency of performance, and that's what I find the top teams have.
Yeah, and we'll see it here, Canterbury, they'll just stick to the motions. See now 16's in there now, Amy, and they kept her pretty quiet. Oh, that's just beautiful. You just got to clap to that, Maya. Amy's been playing right link. She gets on the back end of a scoop, and you just seen in the sub box they were talking to her. The player that gets the reward for me is the setting player that's set for her, that cleared that ruck, and then nice finish in the corner there by Wright, who's just gone about her business throughout this game.
Just too many weapons in the Canterbury team. I mean, you stop Shaw, and then next minute we have Johnston turn up. You stop Johnson, and the next minute we've got Broomhall turn up. There's just far too many weapons to contain across the 40 minutes for Nelson.
Yeah. And it's really awesome. Nice. There we go. And we've been, here's our girl Jolene. Nice touchdown in the corner to Penny. Another touchdown to Penny. And what a way to come back, Mike.
Totally.
Straight in there.
Jones is my MVP for the Nelson team. She's just been going hard the whole game.
Speed, agility.
Yeah, I definitely think, like you talk about, Wee Sung will identify probably other ways to use her in the coming games. But look at her, I don't even think she subbed off. She just comes straight back on and said, give me some D.
Here we go again, Canterbury. Yeah, just coming through the motions, I guess. 17-2. Armedia, man, just onto it as, you know, really, really clear around her role. Oh, here goes the speed back. Ball in two hands.
Oh, Japers. I'm out for the season after a movement like that. In fact, I'd be impressed if I could do that.
Yeah, nice little combination here. Shaw's going to get it back. Oh, good work. Oh.
One more play. Might not be able to have time to set it up. They'll probably have to do it straight off the tap. Shaw on the outside with gas and then pick numbers. Or not.
There we have it. There we have it. Canterbury, the locals. Bunnings Warehouse replay just going through. Yes, and here's that's agility. Number 7, Amelia, she's had a great game. I mean, you just go down right through the list of the Canterbury, but also we've gotten to see these players from Nelson that we haven't seen for a while.
Yep.
And some new players have shone. I think Jolene, for Nelson, one of the standouts. And probably a couple that might not have noticed throughout the game, but definitely Tina Thompson, number 8, defensively.
Defensively, yeah.
Yeah, how she can step off the line in those reads. But there we have it. Canterbury over Nelson, 9-4. And that's your full-time score.
Shot, Jake.
Yeah.